First of all, you're scared to say the wrong thing, so you don't speak at all. Raise your hand if that's you. Welcome back to Up and Running and Thriving, your weekly spot for inspiration and motivation to help you get your mind, body, and business up and running and thriving. My name is Whitney Abraham, certified faster way coach and business coach. Today we're going to talk about bravery in the face of fear. Right now, all across the globe, we're experiencing multiple pain points of deep fear that is keeping us from moving forward in faith and in love and in the name of growth in a lot of different ways. And so I want to talk to you through the questions you may need to ask yourself in order to be able to get past that fear, in order to be able to make positive momentum. First of all, you're scared to say the wrong thing, so you don't speak at all. Raise your hand if that's you. If you get ready to say something, you're worried about how other people might perceive you. Like they might question your integrity or your intention behind the action. Finally, you may feel like you want to speak out, like you want to do something, but you're uneducated and you feel really concerned that you're not speaking from a place of knowledge. All of these fears are completely understandable, but what I want you to do is walk through each and every one of those when you feel them to get to a place where you can do something about it, okay? First of all, I want you to ask yourself, who are you afraid to upset? If it's on the case of racism, are you afraid that you're going to offend a white friend? Or are you afraid that you are going to offend a black friend? Or are you afraid that people are going to take what you're saying out of context, manipulate your words, and misunderstand your intention? If your fear is rooted in self-preservation, if it's about how people see you, what they think of you, what they say of you, how they perceive you, that's a selfish motivation. I'm not saying this with judgment. I'm saying this with understanding. We all have these fears that are rooted in protecting ourselves. That's a human condition. We are meant to survive. That's why we have a fight or flight instinct. So it's not your fault that you have self-preservation thoughts. It's your job to learn how to move through those. Okay, so if you're having thoughts that are self-preservation thoughts, I'm worried about what you'll say about me. I'm worried about you twisting my words. I'm worried about how you perceive what I say. That motivation is not enough to keep us from taking action. Instead, I want you to flip the script and say, who can I help by speaking on this? Who can I help by showing up in support of this? You know, if you're worried about offending a black person and you're talking about racism, great, because you are concerned about elevating someone other than you. You are worried about how you can support somebody that really needs your support instead of how does this look on me? How does this make me come off? How does this impact my business, my followers? Those are selfish, right? We need to be thinking outward. How can I help? What can I do to leverage mobility? Yes, I am concerned that I get it right. But if my intention is good, if my intention is helping, if my intention is elevating the collective, it's really hard to misinterpret that. It's really hard for somebody to miss the heart behind what you're doing. Here's the bottom line, you guys. When it comes to racism, any thought that's self-preservation does not have room here. It's not about preserving yourself. It's about elevating the collective. It's about helping a marginalized population, right? So yeah, I could lose followers. Sure, I could. But I also know that it's out of alignment with my integrity to show up and not speak on it. It's out of alignment with my own personal integrity to just be quiet and not hopefully contribute to the healing collective of our entire community so that we can get to a place where this is no longer a problem. You have to ask yourself what the intention is behind it. If you are struggling with what to say, with how to do the right thing, but feeling like you're uneducated, awesome. There is this amazing thing called Google. We do not phone a friend, especially not a black friend. It's not their job to teach us how to do things. We do not wait for somebody to give us the resources to learn and be better. We go out and we seek knowledge. If you're uneducated, learn. If you have a desire in your heart to contribute in some meaningful way and you feel like posting on social media is vapid and makes no difference, What causes can you give to? Where can you show up and volunteer? How can you lend your time? How can you lend your voice? What can you do? Who can you vote against? Who can you vote for? Where can you petition? Where can you protest? If you need to be action oriented, by all means, do that. Educate yourself on how you can do that, and then go and mobilize. If you're feeling uneducated, but you want to help and you want to learn, that's wonderful. Your intentions are in the right place. All that's needed here is the spark of action. You guys, contrary to popular thought, I don't want you to speak if you don't know what to say. I don't want you to speak if you don't know how you feel. I want you to spend the time really digging deep and learning how you do feel. And I want you to spend the time really looking at the way in which you've contributed to this and addressing that in your own home, in your own heart, in your own family, in your own community. Spend the time to understand how you're feeling and what you're warring with before you speak. Don't feel pressure to just show up and do things because other people are doing them. Feel pressure to really get to the root of the problem, address that root of the problem, and then when you're ready, speak on it. Listen, you guys, we're going to get it wrong. We're going to fumble. We're going to mess this up because this is freaking messy. This is messy. It's not meant to be comfortable. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to feel scary. That's how you know it's important work. If you're worried about picking this up, great. Your heart's in the right place. It's important to you. It's important to everyone. So let's take the time that we need to take to really learn, dig deep, figure out how we can do the hard work. If we all spent the time to address our conditioning, to address the things that are inadvertently contributed to this conversation, 100 years from now, this will be completely irrelevant. God, I hope 5 years from now, this is irrelevant. But we have a long way to go. And unless everyone's committed to doing this work, we are never going to get there. So take the time that you need, dig deep, figure out what's going on in your heart, figure out the ways that you can actively combat those things, and then go forth. I hope that you found this helpful. Tag a sister that you feel like really needs help working through these hard questions and figuring out this very, very difficult landscape to navigate. Here's what I know for sure. When we take the time to dig deep and answer these questions, and when we come at this from a place of helping others, there's really no way that we can get it wrong. I love you.